Hello, Pokemon trainers! Welcome back to some more Battle Spot singles on iStarly TV. We're playing some Pokemon Sun and Moon. Let's go through my team real quick. Let's just kind of jump right into it. I'm playing with Aegislash. It's kind of standard with a lot of special attacks, Shadow Ball, Flash Cannon, and then it has King's Shield and Shadow Sneak, holding Weakness Policy. Then I'm running Scarf Garchomp, just to be able to outspeed a lot of things and revenge kill. Focus Sash Xurkitree, which I have been running. It's been working really well for me. And then I have Porygon 2, which is a new member of my team. My pride and joy here is a Pokemon that I bred, and this is my Shiny Lucario. It's beautiful. Now, Mega Lucario is one of my favorite Mega Pokemon from X and Y, and so I'm happy to be using it finally here. And let's just get into the battle here. I'll explain the other members when I have the time, but for right now, my opponent's team looks pretty powerful. Mega Lucario is going to be taken on pretty nicely by my opponent's Tapu Lele because Psychic Terrain prevents priority moves, so Mega Lucario won't be able to use Bullet Punch or Extreme Speed, so we're going to have to keep that in mind. They do have Togedemaru, which is interesting. A lot of their team is really slow, so bringing Garchomp actually looks to be a good option, and then I'm going to want something that's going to hit that Mudsdale pretty hard. Man, I don't really know exactly what to bring. I think Aegislash also looks pretty good here. They do have Mimikyu, which can be a real problem. I really don't think Lucario is going to be that great here, so maybe I'll just run. I just realized I don't even have the correct moves on my Porygon 2, so I'm going to have to actually fix that. We'll go ahead and lead with Aegislash, and then bring Garchomp and Xurkitree. Xurkitree can outspeed my opponent's team, so if I can set up a scenario where Xurkitree can sweep my opponent's team, that will be ideal because Xurkitree just hits really hard. It really is just a monster. If I'm able to also kind of get up a Tail Glow with Xurkitree, then it's going to be hard for my opponent to do much of anything important. So I kind of just jumped right into this battle. So we'll see how it works out. It is weird that I'm leading with Aegislash, but Aegislash can cause a lot of problems. My opponent actually leads with Togedemaru, and I'm not really scared of that at all. I can just kind of stay in and go for the Shadow Ball. I am a quiet nature, which means I am going to be a lot slower. And Aegislash usually wants to move after the opponent because in its shield form, it can take hits extremely well. And then when it's out of its shield form, it hits really hard. But if it takes damage out of the shield form, it takes a ton of damage because it has low defense. Please don't hurt yourself in confusion. Please. We just started here. We just started, Aegislash. Please don't make me disappointed in you right off the bat. And luckily he pulls through and I'm able to get off this Shadow Ball. And that does so much damage. Alright, I'm actually going to go for the Shadow Sneak now. Please don't hurt yourself in confusion again. Please again, don't hurt yourself in confusion. My opponent is going to make a smart play there and go for the Spiky Shield. So one way or another this turn I am going to be taking damage. Whether I hit the Shadow Sneak, which I do, that's a little unfortunate, or hit myself in confusion. I'm not sure which is doing more. Probably the hitting myself in confusion would have done more damage, so maybe that's fine that I hit there. Please don't hurt yourself. Come on, get 3 in a row. Oh, of course we couldn't get 3 in a row. And look how much damage that does because we have now plus 4 attack from the Swagger. This doesn't seem like it's a great strategy for my opponent, though, because if I snap out of confusion this next turn, I'm going to be able to wreak havoc. I have learned from my lesson. I'm just going to go for the King's Shield here, and my opponent does go for the Spiky Shield, so that kind of shows that they were expecting me to go for Shadow Sneak again, and I've learned my lesson. Please do not hurt yourself. Oh my goodness, there goes that. Okay, that is really annoying. Let's see, I can look at my... Oh, I can't look at my opponent's team right now, can I? Huh. Actually, let's see. I'm just going to go into Xurkitree and just try to start sweeping now. Maybe that's a dumb play. I'm going to go for the Energy Ball, though, just in case by any means they go into Mudsdale. I highly doubt that they're going to, though. Yeah, Xurkitree could be a real problem for my opponent's team here. It kind of doesn't matter what I go for as long as they stay in. So, we'll try... Well, actually, Togedemaru could have Lightning Rod, so I'm just going to go for Dazzling Gleam. It hits a lot of things on their team for neutral damage in case my opponent decides to switch out. So this is a good position for me to be in. This is actually a very good position because now my Xurkitree has its Focus Sash intact, and it's going to be at +1 special attack thanks to the Beast Boost. So this is actually just really going to be hurting my opponent's team. No matter what they bring in, I feel like Xurkitree can do a lot of damage. And they do bring in Mudsdale. That's actually great news for me because I should be faster. Mudsdale's actually very, very slow. And my biggest concern is if they bring in Mimikyu, because Mimikyu can easily take any hit because of its disguise ability, and it can set up a Swords Dance or something like that. So that's something I'm going to need to be worried about. This should not live unless they're running Focus Sash, and they're not. So we're probably sweeping here. It's going to be hard for my opponent, because what they could do is, like, maybe when they send in Mimikyu, they could go for, like, Swords Dance or Z Splash or something like that. However, I do have a Focus Sash, so, alright, Incineroar, that's a good thing to see. My opponent has to have Focus Sash if they're going to want to win this one. I highly doubt they do have Focus Sash Incineroar. That sounds really strange, but I've seen weirder. Alright, so this should kill, I mean, yeah, so I was correct in identifying that Xurkitree would be a big threat against my opponent's team because of the fact that it's faster than everything. So what I'm actually going to do right now, I do want to get a couple battles in, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to teach my Porygon. I'm going to exit the battle spot and teach my Porygon 2 a couple moves because I forgot to teach it. It only knows Recover and Ice Beam right now, and then a couple random moves like Conversion and Recycle or something weird like that. So I'm going to go do that. That's a little awkward. I'll see you soon. Alright everyone, I am back. And I had to teach my Porygon to Discharge and Try Attack. So I had to use a couple heart skills there using the method that I talked about in the video of collecting unlimited heart skills. Every day you can get at least 14 heart skills for free. Go ahead and check out that video if you're interested. I'll post a link at the end of the video. But my Porygon 2 is a bold nature with Eviolite. Whenever you run Porygon 2, it's actually one of the best Pokemon in competitive battling right now with the Alola Pokedex, in singles and even in doubles. So with Porygon 2, the reason it's so good is because it's just so bulky. With the Eviolite, it's really bulky, and it actually has a really good defensive typing. Okay, my opponent has a Porygon 2 of their own, so maybe we'll see some Porygon on Porygon action. I'm actually tempted to bring Lucario here, but at the same time, my opponent does have some things that can take on Lucario pretty nicely. If Lucario is able to set up, you know, it can definitely do a big chunk of damage to my opponent's team. Also, side note of my team, Aegislash and Porygon 2 combo really nicely together. They cover each other's weaknesses really well. Just something to mention there. What else do we got here? So Salamence, you know that I love Salamence. I'm actually tempted to bring my Garchomp here, my Scarf Garchomp. Garchomp can actually deal a lot of damage to a lot of my opponent's team. And I think maybe I'll lead with Porygon. I mean, again, Salamence is going to be dealing a ton of damage. I think Porygon can help me handle Mudsdale, and it can deal neutral damage to everything else. It can easily take on Salamence as well. I'm going to lead with the Porygon. Maybe that's a bad idea. How about Aegislash? How is Aegislash here? Aegislash doesn't look particularly great. I'm going to bring Lucario, like I said. And this could be a downside. Okay, Garchomp or Xurkitree? Oh man. I feel like if I don't bring Garchomp, I'm going to regret it. But Xurkitree can also help sweep. My opponent does have a few things that are pretty slow. So maybe this was a mistake. Maybe I should have... Maybe my team composition here is gonna come back to haunt me. And that's the thing with Battle Spot is... You have to account for what you think your opponent's going to bring. They might have one thing on their team that's really, really threatening to you, but if they don't bring it, then you kind of prepared for nothing. Alright, so they do lead with Mudsdale. That's pretty nice. Again, this is the second Mudsdale I've seen today, so I don't know if it's really popular or if it's good at all. I do have one of my own, and my Mudsdale is actually shiny, so maybe I'll bring that. But let's see. I do have Ice Beam, which should do a decent amount of damage. Let's just kind of scout, though. They are going to withdraw their Mudsdale. Porygon 2 has good neutral coverage against anything on my opponent's team, so we're just going to kind of see what we can do against my opponent's threats. Now, I don't believe Muck gets knockoff right now, so that's something that we're going to be benefiting from, because if it did have knockoff, it could ruin our day right here. I'm just going to go for Try Attack, see if that does any more damage, and just kind of scout what they're going to do. It does have knockoff! I was wrong! I was very, very wrong! That was terrible. Oh, I forgot that I copied Stamina. Oh man, that's actually really interesting. Wow, I forgot about that. Okay. Maybe this can help us, and we're going to freeze the Muck. Alright, it is annoying that they're still getting some leftovers recovery, but that Tri-Attack's doing a fair amount of damage. It's not great, it's not decent. You got to account for hacks here. And yeah, so since I copied Stamina, oh wow, they're just going to thaw out right away. Since I copied Stamina, it kind of mitigates the fact that they knocked off my Eviolite, because I'm going to be taking hits just as well as I would have. That was actually a critical hit too, so we might be able to stall out this Muck. Let's hope for the burn. That would be perfect. If we burn this thing, perfect, thank you. That accounts for me being stupid and forgetting that it could get knockoff. I thought it could not get knockoff yet. I thought that was like a 6th gen only move, like a transfer move, like a move that you could get in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire by teaching it at the battle tree or battle resort, whatever. I'm going to go for recover here. Oh, wow, they predict that really nicely and they're just going to taunt me. This Muck has everything up its sleeve. So that's a little annoying. I won't be able to recover now. But again, my opponent's not going to be hitting me hard at all. I should be able to take its hits really, really well. And my opponent, this is kind of funny to say, but let me check. I don't think my opponent has anything that's going to want to switch into a Tri-Attack, especially, or maybe even considering Metagross, given that Metagross might get burned. Alright, so this is annoying that, I mean, Gunk Shot has a lot of things going against it. It has to hit, it's a low accuracy move, as long as we don't get poisoned. And we're just going to keep getting stamina boosts. If we can kill this Muck sooner rather than later, that's going to be amazing, just so we can wear off the taunt and recover against the Mudsdale or something. Huh. Yeah, that's tough. The fact that we can't recover our HP is really hurting us here. But the burn is canceling out the leftovers. I think it'll take 2 more Tri-Attacks to kill this Muck. But I'm still just going to keep going for it. That's what we're bringing Porygon for. And we have the knowledge that my opponent... Look, that's going to do nothing. That's going to do 0 damage. We have the knowledge that my opponent has Mudsdale in the back. So that's going to allow us to kind of sequence our next turns after the Muck is eliminated to benefit us against the Mudsdale. If my opponent has Salamence, I mean, we will die to Salamence. Even though we're at like +4 defense, I'm pretty sure Salamence is still going to kill us. Vikavolt, we are faster than Vikavolt. We are faster than Mudsdale. We might speed tie their own Porygon 2, so maybe we can get a recover off against their Porygon 2. But, yeah, it's funny, I wasn't even paying attention to Stamina. That's the reason I have Trace on my Porygon 2, is so that I can copy useful abilities from other Pokemon. So, yeah, I don't think there's any reason for me to switch into anything else. Maybe there was, but I think it's better for me to eliminate one of their Pokemon and still have all 3 of mine, rather than taking any big risks there. So my opponent is going to go into Mudsdale, and it is annoying again that we are not able to go for recover. If we can survive a couple turns against this Mudsdale somehow, then we will be able to recover, and at that point, we're probably favored to win this game if we have a super high defense. Oh wow, we got a crit there. If we have a super high defense Porygon 2 against a bunch of physical attackers, close combat, we might even survive this. Oh man, okay, that's fine. That is fine. You can't win them all, right? But I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into Xurkitree. I brought Xurkitree, right? I did. Actually, I am tempted to get greedy and go into my Lucario just to show it off. No. I mean, I want to show it off. It's beautiful. I'll do another fight after this so I can show off how beautiful it is. But I just want to kind of play it smart here, especially since I don't have the best record right now. I definitely want to get some wins so I can kind of build up a record. Anyway, I am going to go for the Energy Ball. If they switch into something, that's okay. I will still have my Focus Sash. And at this point, Lucario can kill Mudsdale at that range of HP with a adaptability boosted close combat. I mean, Mega Lucario hits so hard with close combat. It is absolutely absurd. That's why I love it. It just hits so hard. It's really fast. Let's see who their last Pokemon is. I'm definitely advantaged at this point. They're going to go into Salamence. And again, because we have Focus Sash, we will not die here. And we're going to be able to get off a lot of damage with a... Oh man, I misclicked. Wow, I have a Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam would have done more damage than Thunderbolt. It's not that big of a deal. You know, Dazzling Gleam might have killed though, so that was stupid of me, but... I just have to hope that Lucario can kill. They are going to go for the Earthquake. Wow, that misclick could come back to haunt me. Because Mega Salamence is a terror. But we are at +1 special attack. So this should do a lot of damage one way or another, but I'm sure Dazzling Gleam would have been very close to killing. Oh yeah, Dazzling Gleam would have absolutely killed. We're going to go down now to whatever attack they go for, and then we can bring in Mega Lucario. I do get to show it off. Beautiful. And we get to kill this Salamence with either Extreme Speed or Bullet Punch. I do have both priority moves. I know that sounds kind of weird, but that was the set that I was running in X and Y to some decent success. Extreme Speed and Bullet Punch have okay coverage together, and it's nice to have a couple options for priority moves. Look at it, though. Wow, you just gotta stare at that thing. Let's Mega Evolve. We're gonna see the animation for Mega Evolving. And it doesn't matter at this point. I'm just gonna go for the Extreme Speed. Honestly, because of adaptability, Mega Lucario's ability is adaptability, which boosts the power of its stab moves even more. And so with adaptability, that is just awesome, by the way. With adaptability, Bullet Punch actually hits just as hard as Extreme Speed, so it really didn't matter there. And that's the game. We got another win there. Pretty awesome, even though it looked like things were going to go south. By the way, about Mega Lucario, or my Shiny Lucario, I bred it. I purposely bred a bunch of Riolus. I kept hatching eggs for days until I finally hatched that beautiful shiny Riolu. And I was so happy when that happened. I've hatched 2 shinies so far in in Sun and Moon. I've hatched a shiny Roggenrola, who I have since evolved into Gigalith. I'll probably be showing that one off soon. And I've hatched the shiny Riolu, and they're both awesome looking. Shiny Gigalith, you should look that up if you don't know how it looks. It is so awesome. It's like bright blue. It looks like a crystal kind of thing. Stellar stuff. Alright. Did we get an opponent? Yes, we did. Okay, so this team also looks pretty interesting. They do have Garchomp, they do have Tapu Koko, both of which are awesome. I'm tempted again to bring my Garchomp with Earthquake because I'm Choice Scarfed. They do also have Shiinotic, who could be pretty annoying. I'm actually tempted to try Kartana. Kartana is really fast. It's faster than most of their team, and it can deal a lot of damage to Primarina, Ninetales, Shiinotic, and depending on what their Silvally is, I think I'm going to bring Kartana. Okay, Xurkitree. Xurkitree can't really do too much to Shiinotic. Lucario is decent as a revenge killer, but it's not particularly great otherwise. Porygon 2 actually looks valuable here as well. So I definitely want Kartana. I definitely want Porygon 2. What might my opponent bring? I could see them possibly bringing Garchomp, because Earthquake is pretty powerful against a lot of my team. If my opponent brings Garchomp, Porygon 2 can take it on really well. I feel like Shiinotic is going to be really annoying. It's not particularly strong, but it just looks like it's going to be annoying to deal with. Let's see, does Aegislash have trouble with any of these things? Not particularly. This could be a big mistake on my part. I'm going to bring these 3 Pokemon. I don't think Lucario is going to be stellar here. I mean, it could pick things off, it could pick off weakened Pokemon, but it's not dealing a ton of damage outright with close combat. Although maybe close combat could even kill Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko doesn't have good defense, but Tapu Koko does have great speed. So I'm going more for defense rather than speed here because my opponent has Garchomp and Ninetales and Tapu Koko. I'm leading with my Aegislash. Let's see what we got here. She just threw it with both hands. They are leading with Garchomp. Huh. Okay. I'm tempted to stay in. By the way, my Aegislash's item is Weakness Policy, which doubles my attack and special attack if I'm hit with a super effective move. I feel like I can live an Earthquake from Garchomp. I won't live it well. Otherwise, I could go into Porygon 2 and take the Earthquake and then go for, Ice Beam. I think Aegislash is just so valuable. I'm going to play it smart rather than just kind of, taking the hit there. Because there is a chance Aegislash could die depending on what my opponent's running on their Garchomp. Like, if it's Life Orb or Choice Band or Choice Scarf. And I'm going to trace the Rough Skin here, so that can actually help me out a lot as well. Yeah, I should be able to take this. If this is Scarf, I should be able to take it really well. That's why Porygon 2 is so good, because it has decent bulk to begin with. And then if you give it Eviolite, it actually just takes hits so well. And I'm just going to go for the safe Ice Beam here. I'm just going to play it safe these first couple turns, because I don't know exactly what my opponent's doing here. See, they do switch it out, which leads me to believe that they might, in fact, have Choice Scarf, but you never know. So Ninetales is going to be a little bit annoying because this Snow Warning, the Hail is going to deal residual damage to my Porygon. And this will do an okay amount of... No, it's not going to do that much damage. Yeah, so the Hail is going to gradually be dealing damage to my Porygon. My opponent is probably aware that my Porygon is bold rather than a specially defensive boosting nature because of the fact that I took that Earthquake really well. So... Oh man, yeah, this is a tough one as well. I'm going to go for Recovery here, just to scout what my opponent's going to do. They go for Aurora Veil. That is not nice to see. Aurora Veil is essentially a mix of Reflect and Light Screen in one move, but you can only use it during Hail. So that's absolutely not good for me, because it means all of my attacks are going to be dealing less damage. So I have to be careful, because what do they have on their team? I'll check their team right now. I'm going to go for the Discharge here. If we get Paralysis on this Ninetales, it's going to help us out quite a bit in the late game. They're going to go for Encore. That is very annoying. That is super annoying. Alright. Yes. I'm fine just staying in and stalling out some Aurora Veil turns, especially because the last two things on my team are pretty weak to Ice. I mean, Kartana's not weak to Ice, but it has a very, very poor special defense stat, so it's not going to be taking Ice attacks from Ninetales really well at all. And this is fine because I feel like they're going to predict me to go into something else. They're going to predict me to switch out, but in fact, I'm just going to be staying... No, they don't. Okay, they're going to go into some kind of sweeper here then. Back into Garchomp. Okay, we still have Rough Skin intact. This isn't ideal at all, but I think I'm just going to stay in. I mean, there's really nothing else I can do. If I go into anything else, they're going to be taking a lot of damage. I feel like this Garchomp is going to have, like, Swords Dance or Substitute, both of which would be extremely annoying to take on, but... I mean, we've already seen that Porygon can take hits from this Garchomp really, really nicely, so... And not only that, but we're locked into Recover, so we're just going to be recovering all this damage off anyway. I feel like the Aurora Veil, or the Taunt... What is it? The Encore, sorry. The Encore... hopefully will be wearing off soon. Okay, the Hail stopped, that's helpful. And the Encore ended, perfect. So here I am once again just going to go and just go for the Ice Beam. Even if they go into Ninetales, it's still taking gradual damage. Okay. Oh man. We're gonna see if my opponent's gonna next level us now. Because I've been staying in with the Porygon, I'm going to expect them to expect me to stay in with the Porygon again and go for Encore here. With that in mind, I'm going to go into Kartana, and Kartana has Smart Strike, which is going to deal a ton of damage to this Ninetales. If my opponent predicts me, they could say, oh, he's probably going to expect me to go for Encore, so he's going to switch out, so I'm just going to go for Blizzard. So that's the worst case scenario. Again, Kartana is not going to take Blizzard well at all. It's not going to take any special move from Ninetales unless it's like Moonblast. It does go for Blizzard. Exactly. That's what I thought they would do, and they did just that. Yeah, okay. So I knew they were going to do that. I had a feeling that was going to happen there, but it's okay because I can just go into Porygon and just go for the Discharge. It does seem like Porygon's going to be super helpful here anyway, and really Porygon can kind of take on... Oh, well, it's just going to copy the Snow Warning, which is a little annoying. I would rather have Rough Skin, but you kind of take what you can get. Porygon can take on any of my opponent's team one-on-one. That is excellent knowledge. I'm just going to go for Discharge here. They might expect that, but it's kind of a fresh turn here. Okay, this Blizzard's going to do a good chunk of damage. Maybe we'll Oh, it doesn't even do that much. Never mind. Ninetales isn't that strong. We just want Paralysis. That's all we wanted, and we got it. Perfect. I think I'm probably better off going for Discharge again. No, I'm going to go for Recover. Even if they Encore us, we might be faster, but we also might not. We are not faster. That's fine. That is okay. They still have Aurora Veil intact. I'm not sure what item they have, but they could have, what's it called? They could have Light Clay, I think it's called, which would extend their Aurora Veil. Okay, it just wore off. They might go for it again, but at this point I'm just going to go for Tri-Attack. We know we're taking Blizzard well. and the Hail will be expiring soon. Of course, they're going to go for Aurora Veil again. I feel like if we're able to eliminate excuse me. If we are able to eliminate Ninetales, Porygon plus Aegislash is a really good combo to have remaining. So here what we're going to do is, it is just so annoying that they've Aurora Veiled again. I'm just going to spam Tri-Attack at this point. They don't really have anything that can switch into Tri-Attack unless their Silvally is Steel. Yeah, and see, that's doing fair damage. It's not great, but, you know, it's not bad. We just need to stall out this Aurora Veil. And again, yeah, if they switch into something, if they switch in with something, then they risk getting frozen, burned, or paralyzed because of Tri-Attack. They don't have any ghost types. And yeah, this is just the best way to go. Even if they switch in Garchomp, it's not going to enjoy taking a Tri-Attack, and then we can just take any hit from Garchomp. So once again, my Porygon is really, really well positioned against my opponent's team. They don't have anything that's just going to be one-hit KOing it off the bat, unless they're... Oh, and see, now Blizzard might even miss. Well, they could also freeze us. Unless their Silvally is a fighting type, which would be kind of crazy, but Ninetales is down. That means their Aurora Veil and Hail Setter are gone. Those are two of the biggest problems for Porygon 2. Silvally. Now we get to see what type it is. It looks like it's a normal type. Okay. I know Silvally gets Flamethrower. I know it gets Flame Charge, which could be very, very problematic if I switch an Aegislash here. So for that reason, I'm just going to stay in and recover just to scout what my opponent's got going on with their Silvally. They're going for Swords Dance. That is terrifying. That is terrifying, but that means that they're a physical Silvally. So they probably don't have Flamethrower. Again, they could have Flame Charge, which would actually be a pretty big problem. But at this point, I'm just gonna spam Tri-Attack again. It'll deal the most damage, and if we again burn, paralyze, or freeze them, that all three of those could help us out here. Although I think we need Porygon if we're gonna take on and beat Garchomp. So at some point we are going to have to switch into Aegislash. My opponent does know we have Aegislash. Yeah, my opponent's thinking. I really wonder what they could have here. Porygon 2 is just so bulky. It's just exceptionally bulky. They have Flame Charge. I think they were expecting Aegislash there. That's actually good for us. We take that so well. Just so well. They do get a speed boost, but at this point it doesn't matter because both of our last Pokemon are slow. That does a lot of... Oh, we got a crit. Okay. Huh. I am going to go into Aegislash now. Again, we need Porygon at really high health so we can win against Garchomp. If Porygon dies against Silvally, and then I kill their Silvally, if it's Garchomp versus Aegislash in the end, Garchomp wins that fight because it just spams Earthquake. So they predicted that. They actually made a pretty fine prediction there. Although I'm probably going to take this Flame Charge well, but they are at +4. Man, okay, they are normal, right? So I have to go for Flash Cannon here. But this should still do a good amount of damage. They have Shadow Claw. Oh no. Oh no. Come on, come on! Oh, okay, they're dead. They're dead. Yeah, Weakness Policy activates. And because Silvally took extra damage from the Tri-Attack from Porygon, I'm pretty sure a +2 Flash Cannon coming off of a 150 base power is going to kill you. Beautiful. That is just wonderful. If Silvally had lived that, I would have lost the game, because they would be at +4. Oh man, I forgot about Aurora Veil. Sorry, I can't talk today. I don't know why. So Aurora Veil's gone. That was what was allowing their Silvally to take the hits so well. At this point, though, we've basically won, I think. I'm just going to go for Shadow Sneak. Get as much damage on this Garchomp as I can. Aegislash cannot beat Garchomp one-on-one, so might as well just, you know, spam Shadow Sneak. Yeah, I'm dead here. If they go for Swords Dance, though, that could be a problem. Or Substitute. Huh, let's see. Outrage. Ooh, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So my opponent recognized that their only way of winning was just by going for Outrage. That does further the possibility that they are Choice Scarfed. I'm pretty sure they are Choice Scarfed. Now I'm going to trace Rough Skin, so their only move that they can go for is Outrage. And that was a well-executed battle. I'm actually really proud of that one. We were able to fight through an annoying Ninetales. I'm going to breed one of those Ninetales for myself, because Encore is really good. Hail is really good. Aurora Veil is actually really, really solid as well. Yeah, so I'm going to try to breed me one of those, but in the end, we were able to pull through because of Porygon 2. Where have you been all my life, Porygon 2? I am so glad I have one. I even have a couple from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but I don't even care. I like it so much. I'm okay with having like 4 different Porygon 2s once Pokebank is released. So thank you very much for watching. That's going to be the video today. Please subscribe for more Pokemon Sun and Moon Battle Spot and more content like this. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. And as always, definitely let me know in the comments what other Pokemon I should use for the series. What do you think about Battle Spot? What have you been using and what's been working for you? I'm actually really interested in seeing what has been working for all of you. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful day or evening. Talk to you soon.